I think everyone in Australia would be familiar with Lifeline, a national provider of services to be able to answer calls and take calls no matter where and where you are across the country, for people who are in crisis or just need to talk to someone. Men's Line is a service that's provided by the Lifeline family, which is specific for men, to be able to, and men's issues, to be able to help men who are going through particular issues with a focus on those issues that affect men uniquely. Well, we know it can be complex being a man in Australia. There are lots and lots of things which are pressures on men, as they are for women and all Australians, but particularly affect men. And our Men's Line counsellors are expert in helping people through things like relationship issues, difficulties you might be having at work, recent bereavement or sadness or grief that you might have experienced. Regardless of the issue that you have, what people should know when they're calling Men's Line, they're getting a group of counsellors who can respond to whatever those issues are here to listen and are here to partner with you and help figure out what the pathway forward is. Men's Line is specifically designed to make it easy for men to reach out for support. We know men are busy, they've got lots on their plate. It's not that easy to go and book an appointment to get somewhere. If you're sitting at home right now, you can reach out to Men's Line. It's free, it doesn't require a referral. You can connect with us make an appointment for a video chat, have an online chat or give us a call. All we ask for you to do is just to take that step and everything will be ready for you when you do. Look, it is, but at the same time we recognise it's not always that easy to do, and it's perfectly okay. I've said that we take it at the pace that you want to take it at. And we recognise that sometimes it is difficult to open up everything. That's perfectly okay. We're here to work through the issues as you desire, to sit with you and partner with you while we process what's going on and find the next step. That's what this is all about. So it doesn't matter, people shouldn't feel like they have to open up everything, on the first go. If you want to, of course, we'd love to talk through that. But at the same time, we're here for you. We're here for the people who are calling or reaching out to us, and we'll do everything we can to support you at the pace that you like. Look, I think there's a few practical things that people can do. I think the first thing is sometimes it's really useful to write down what are some of the things that you feel are bothering you at the moment, if you can. Because when people get on calls, sometimes they get a bit flummoxed the first time to remember, and then that makes them feel a bit stressed. Having that written in front of you can sometimes really help as a starting point to open up. The other practical things are, it's obviously a lot easier to have a conversation if you're not surrounded by a whole bunch of people. So finding a quietish place if you can to talk through those things is really important. And obviously doing it at a time where you feel like you've got the right amount of energy and you've got the right amount of space to do it is also good too. But regardless of all of that, we don't want any of that to be a barrier for you calling. If now is the time you feel like you need to call. If people are unsure what may be right for them, the first thing that I would recommend is go to mensline.org.au. There's lots of great information on there about, what it's like to have a video appointment or what it's like to have a phone call and what to expect. And that can sometimes guide. The other thing is that if you do feel comfortable and you're a bit unsure, go on the online chat and just reach out and ask the counsellor what they think might be best. They'll certainly guide you. We recognise that for some people it's difficult to call up a number and speak to someone on the phone. So we want to provide different options for people if that's better suited for them. So on our website, you can go online and just have an online chat with one of our counsellors. Same degree of professional counselling support that's there just via that text interaction, which is a really good place to start if you're feeling uncertain. Finally, for those people who are interested, we do offer an ability to book a face-to-face video appointment with one of our professional counsellors too. So the options are there. We're really trying to make it easy for people to access the care that they want when they want it. Yeah, we absolutely recognise there are some at-risk groups in the community, but we also recognise that everyone's story is unique and individual. Our professional counsellors recognise the interaction that it might be if you come from a particular type of community or you have a particular background, that these can contribute to the way you are experiencing our society, and it can be associated with distress. So regardless of your background or where you come from, Men's Line is a fantastic place to have a conversation with a professional who can help understand your issues from your perspective and then help guide what the next appropriate step is. We recognise that for some that might be connection to a specialist type of service provider that really understands some of those issues, and that's part of our role to connect you there. But I would never at all suggest it's a barrier to call us because you feel that we may not understand your issues, because actually our role is to be with you and really work on understanding your issues from your perspective so we can help in guiding what the next steps are. I mean, people may not recognise that older male Australians are the most at-risk group for negative consequences from mental health. So we are really keen to encourage and engage older men through the unique issues that they face. We know that being an older person, whether you're influenced by loss, sadness, a change to your life circumstance or your physical health issues, Men's Line is here to work with you and understand that without judgment, to sit and listen, and then to be able to work with you about what the next best help might be. And sometimes it's just about having that ability to connect with someone at the time when you're feeling down. The amount of lives that have been saved just by services like Men's Line being there for people to hear the issues and to partner with them and to provide reassurance that there is a next step and a way forward is incredible. And so we encourage all older Australians to see us as a really important option for them if things are getting troubling. We know it can be really hard, particularly if you live in a place where you're a prominent person in town or you know the whole community, to open up about your issues. Unfortunately, we still live in a society where there is stigma about these issues. We need to acknowledge that. So the beauty of Men's Line is that we have counsellors from all over the country. You can call us from wherever you are, whenever you are, and you won't be interacting with a person who's in your local community. So you're able to openly share some of the difficulties and issues you have without any fear that that information would be spread beyond whatever the group that you want to share that with. Men's Line is a national service for all men in Australia, and we recognise that not everyone who lives and works in our community speaks English fluently or may have some other barriers to communication. I want to reassure all of those people that they should always feel free to connect with Men's Line. We will bring in the services we need, whether it's translation or other services to support having that initial conversation so that we can work together to figure out what the next best step is for you. Yeah, well, we take tens of thousands of calls from men across the country every year, and we hear many, many consistent themes. Men are struggling with, cost of living pressures, with issues with relationship, whether it be with their spouses, their families, or even the stresses of being a parent, balancing home life and work life. And then all of those other issues which can affect young people, issues with alcohol and other substance abuse, the terrible issues relating to family violence. All of these things are part of our society today and are affecting men's health. What's most important is that our trained, qualified counsellors understand these issues, have worked with people who are experiencing these issues before, and are ready to help and work with whoever it is in our society to understand the issues and how they're affecting them, and then to help guide them to the next best pathway forward. Yeah, I think there's lots of people in our society who just kind of brush off issues they may have or just say, oh, that's not really a big deal. Oftentimes, it's about being open to understanding that there may be something going on. People will commonly talk about how, friends or family members has sort of mentioned that maybe something's not quite right and they've kind of brushed it off. I think the first step that men can take is just to be a bit open to hearing that feedback from friends and family. If you are concerned that maybe something you're experiencing or you're not feeling right isn't quite right, there's lots of great websites out there that can provide, better information and support on the things to look out for, including mensline.org.au. But I'd encourage all guys that as you are getting older or working through some of life's issues, stay connected to a trusted health professional like a GP. If you can go see your GP and know them over time, you can just ask them straight out, how do you think I'm going? They're trained to be able to help you, recognize some of these things that, can relate to mental health problems. And the final thing, if you're ever worried in the moment, you can call Men's Line and have the same conversation. We're here to talk to you about some of the things you could look out for, and then that can sometimes help you recognize what the issues are, and then it helps you guide what happens next. Absolutely. I think there's definitely been a generational change happen where people are far more open in discussing their issues. However, I wouldn't at all say that men are now open books on everything that's affecting them. So the kind of advice I give to all guys is that we should be encouraging each other to connect socially and in a community setting and be open to having the support of our friends, family and otherwise. Where I've seen big issues occur is when people become isolated and lonely. So it doesn't have to be everyone sitting around sharing all of their deepest, most intimate secrets. That's never going to work for a lot of groups of men. However, being socially connected and supporting and reaching out in that care way, the best way that for your friends, can make a big difference to their life and also a big difference to yours. So I just encourage everyone to be open to having those conversations. And if you don't know where to start, you can call Men's Line and ask for help. How do I reach out to a friend who I'm worried about? We're here to guide you. Definitely. So one of the challenges that I know many people have is, I know there's something wrong, but I don't know where to start. And I'm actually really worried if I do it wrong, I'll make things worse. The first reassurance I'll give anyone is that it's never the wrong time to express concern and care for someone that you care about. Never the wrong time. You can't make a mistake. But if you are sort of looking for practical advice about how can I have that first conversation, what are the steps I could do to make that easier? Our counsellors are trained professionals. They do this for a living. They understand the way to do that. And if you think some guidance would be helpful to you, please reach out and help. They'll talk you through it and give you some practical advice. Yeah, I think to build better mental health, the first absolute foundation is to have a strong physical and social health network. So in terms of your physical health, all of those things that we commonly talk about in society that you've been taught before, things like engaging in regular exercise, having a good diet, getting a good amount of sleep, and limiting the amount of alcohol and other drug use that happens is really important for your physical health and is completely connected to how you will experience your mental health as well. So that's a really important first step. The second step is that we are social animals. We like to connect socially, and it's really important that we have healthy, positive connections. So sometimes the way to get that back in our society is to be the person who takes the brave step to organise a catch up, reach out to a friend. That process of doing that is really great for them, and it's also really great for you. So I'd encourage everyone who may feel that their mental health is struggling to focus on those basics. It's amazing the impact it has.